Hi, I'm Dennis Holzebrook. I play keyboards.
And my name's Jeff Rippin. I play guitar and sing.
Jerry Heesham, bass guitar, vocals.
My name is David Lund. I do lead vocals and dabble in other things.
I'm Paul Dorado. I play drums and I sing.
And we are
Puzzleview.
Right. Could you give me a little bit of history on the band? You know, where do you come from? You know, basically, how did you form the band and that type of stuff?
Yeah, the band was originated back in September 1982 and continued on for a while. I was actually one of the first members that joined the band. And I was in the band for a few years, and then the band kind of decided to break up and reform. And then I was reformed with the bass player, Jerry, and Paul, and another singer. We were called Silencer then.
Oh, Silencer was the original name of the band, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And out of the members that are here, just 3 original members that were from that band.
Yeah, well, essentially that's true.
Yeah, pretty much so, yeah.
Okay.
And then we hired Dennis on keyboards, and then about a year later we hired Dave on vocals.
Dave's our most recent member. This will be 2 years now that he's been with the band.
2 years.
Yeah.
2 years this month, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, we did perform as a whole as Silencer for a short period of time, and then we decided to change the name when the album was finally together.
Okay. That sounds like that's excellent. Tell me a little bit why the name changed? Why you changed Silencer to Puzzleview?
There was a band called the Silencers from Scotland.
Oh, okay.
And they were doing a tour of the United States late last year. And we had just released a single under our own record label, and they released an album like a month later. So I said, hey, what's going on here? We're going to sue you guys. So we took them to court. Basically, we ended up settling out of court. They paid us a big amount of cash, and we decided to change our name.
Okay.
Took the money and ran.
Financed the record.
Yeah, financed our album. Started our own record company.
It worked out both ways for them and us.
Okay, so everybody was happy then.
Right.
Okay, that's excellent right there. Let's see. Could you tell me how did you come up with the name Puzzleview? You know, how did the band members form that
Well, the
together?
singer actually came up with that name.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was in a weird mood one night and just trying to think of names. When you have 5 different people, it's real hard to find a name that everybody's going to like.
That took us a long time.
Let alone that gives you the image that you were looking for. So we just wanted something that made people think. Maybe think about it a little bit. What does that mean? Or whatever.
Puzzle over it then.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. We're trying to keep people.
Plus, the music has such a variety. It's a puzzle of sounds, almost.
Besides that, it was the only name we could agree on.
Yeah, it's hard to get everybody to agree.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah.
And then there's a legal aspect of searching out and make sure no one else has the name.
Yeah, we came up with 4 or 5 real
Good names, yeah, real good ones.
Good names, as good as Puzzleview before. Searched them and
Already taken.
found other bands that had them. See, we weren't going to go through the same trouble that the Silencers went through.
No, you didn't want to have that same experience.
Right.
Again, I know. That's
No
right.
way. We're going to search this out and make sure.
Let's see. How would you describe your sound, basically? You know, I've heard you play.
A quick description: R&B with an edge. R&B being rock and blues.
Okay.
Yeah, but we have a
Good variety.
We have a progressive sound. I think we have a combination of that plus a progressive sound and a pop sound because versatility really shows on our album.
It's almost impossible to describe.
There's songs that we do that sound like the Cars, and then there's songs we do that sound a little harder, rock.
Close to Genesis. Even.
Yeah, and there's songs that sound like Genesis, progressive, and it's because of the influences in the band. We come from many different backgrounds. We've all played music professionally for many years, and we've got lots of little feathers in our caps for like a resume.
Yeah, there's blues. There's
Yeah, that's
50s.
what I was wondering. Some of the influence you said, with blues
There's
going.
blues. There's a 50s influence. There's a heavy metal influence.
I even played country for a while.
Oh.
We had even a wave influence.
Oh, wave influence in there. So you bring. So it is kind of like a puzzle then.
Yeah.
You bring all the different
Brings
parts
all
and
the
pieces.
elements
The variety,
together. Right.
and yet people can dance to our stuff too. I mean, we'll pack the dance floor. It's not like so heavy metal or you can't dance to it. All you can do is sit back and listen to it. But it's good dance material too.
We all sing, so it's very important that the vocals and the harmonies be heard because sometimes they're just as essential to the song as the music is. Sometimes there's counter melodies going over the basic chorus, a counter chorus going over that. So all that has to be heard, and you can't hear it if everybody's just screaming and.
Yeah, screaming out, and you get a wall of sound that you can't really.
Yeah, it's important that everything's orchestrated, from the solos to the fills to the breaks to what goes where. We arrange it as a band. Maybe some of us may write individual songs and introduce them, and sometimes we all write together. But basically, when it comes to the arrangement, for the most part, we all contribute an equal share.
Yeah.
And so that way, everybody feels it's a part of them. They have something to say.
Right.
Yeah, well, that kind of ties in a little bit to the next question that I had to ask is how do you put your songs together? Does one person come up with an idea, or is it a group?
We do it 10 different ways.
Yeah, different
Way.
songs different.
Depends on the day.
Well,
It's mostly
When
the
I-
music that comes first.
Yeah, a lot of times the music will come
We'll
first.
record the music, and then somebody will take the music home and write words to it.
Oh, so you record the music.
The easiest way and the quickest way.
We've written songs
Oh, there's-
from
yeah.
10 minutes to spending maybe a week on it. You know?
We'll jam on different themes, and we'll find something we like, turn the tape deck on and tape it,
Right.
write words to it. Next thing you know,
It's a hit.
it evolves.
Put it together that way.
We hope.
So you don't have a particular format that you lay down a rhythm track or
Nope.
you do. Okay.
Nothing.
No.
Just let it happen.
Flow together.
Yep, it just
But
happens.
it's always the music that seems to start it off.
Right.
That'll
That's true.
spark everybody else.
Get it.
Well, we're all individual writers in our own right.
Oh,
and,
okay.
As individuals, we have composed our own songs, and there's been occasions where all of us have, like, there's some songs on our album that were written years ago by us individually, but they're new for the band. As a matter of fact, all of us has at least one that we wrote maybe 5+ years ago that we brought into the band. But other than that, it's most of the stuff we do is band-written material. Everybody writes their own parts.
Okay.
We make up the music, like they said, and whoever's singing the song, they write the lyrics. They come up with the melody, they write the lyrics, and and then we try it out.
Yep.
And proceed to cabaret.
Mow it over and fight.
The guinea pigs, huh?
Try it out at
The
gigs.
guinea-
We tried it
the
at
guinea
gigs.
pigs, we
See how
tried
it
our
works
new
at the
songs.
gig. If it works at the
Get the
gig.
reaction from the crowd, if it's not working. Drop it.
If they dance, then we know it's a hit. If they don't dance,
Yeah.
but it still could be a hit because they could be
be a hit,
mesmerized.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
could just scoping out the song and say, "Yeah,
Stuck to their, glued to their chairs or something.
Yeah, so mesmerized by the song and they can't do it. Are you all local to this area, or
Yeah,
the reason
no.
why I ask because sometimes when you come from a different area, you bring in the influence from that particular region or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm a
Paul-
native."
Okay,
Yeah.
you're native. Okay.
Most of us are native. Paul's from New York,
Yeah, I'm from Niagara Falls,
New
not
York.
Buffalo, like the personal
like everyone else
side.
knows, right?
Yeah, and I played in New York for quite a while and moved out here. I've been out here 15 years. And I brought some different influences with me, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
What type of influence would you bring, would you say, from New York?
Oh, a lot of blues. I
Okay.
grew up with a lot of Motown back there close to Detroit.
And Motown metal, I think.
Motown metal. Mostly blues, though.
Anything like punk gospel?
cut my teeth on the blues, so I have a lot of blues influences.
And what are some of the other influences in the group? Just to get-
60s for me. Although I was a young child in the 60s, I wasn't. I grew up in the 60s through my sisters who were teenagers at the time, and the Beatles was big for me as far as wanting to be a musician. But when I played, I played everything from country to punk rock. I toured with Freddie Fender for a while and put some big names. But the whole purpose of being a musician, I found over the years, is that you got to play what you want and not what you think you need to play. And that's why I'm in the company of these fellows, because we play what we want. We all play. We all complement each other, and it's the best project I've been in.
You really enjoy being it with
Definitely. It's a you look forward to practicing, you look forward to playing. We don't see each other that much, and when we do, it's we spend a lot sometimes we waste practice time because we're
socializing.
We're shooting the bull, for about a half hour because we haven't seen each other. What you've been up to? How was your weekend? And then lately we haven't been creating lately. So lately we've been on this creating binge, and like last night we practiced and we wrote 2 songs. I started to write the beginnings of two songs.
Pretty much,
because
yeah.
of frustration.
Either it's one big song. You can't decide.
And that's just how it happens. If we don't write for a while, we have to. It's itchy. It's like
just happens.
It's an addiction to create. So we create. We have to do it and just start somewhere.
Just pull that.
There's time for rehearsal to prepare for performances, and there's time for creativity.
Oh, that's excellent.
Creativity is the most fun.
That's the most fun. Put it.
Definitely.
Live shows are fun.
Recording for me. I love to record.
Oh, yeah.
I think I've developed more of a desire to do that than I do to play live. Because it's laid back. You can show,
I think recordings work.
You can show up to the studio in your sweats. You don't have to. You don't have to worry if your hair is cold. And hey, if it doesn't work, you just erase it. It's it's no big deal. I like that.
You got one shot. You blow it. That's it.
You're on stage, and they tell you about it later. People who listen to you a lot to say, "Hey, I heard that mistake you made."
Thanks.
Give you the info on that right there.
They know the songs that well.
Jeff, what are some of the influences that you bring to the group?
I bring in pretty much some southern rock and heavy metal.
Heavy metal, right?
Yeah, all the hard stuff. And then I have some jazz influence also, but not a whole lot. Jazz fusion, maybe.
A little bit. You bring that little bit of element to it. I think I could hear a little bit of that.
He plays classical guitar.
I play a lot of. I have blues also, but that's the country rock or the southern rock is based a lot around the blues too.
Yeah.
ZZ Top.
Yeah, ZZ Top.
Yeah.
I've seen him sit down and play classical, though. Did you play classical guitar?
He plays sax too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard you say.
Accomplished saxophone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know where that influence came from for the saxophone.
For the sax, you just
No idea, man.
picked it up. If it's something
There it
that
is.
you to pick the sax up and start
Let's
with
try
it.
this. Let's see what happens.
He wanted to have good sax in school.
Yeah.
You practice
What about you,
sax.
Jerry? What are some of the influences you?
My influences were in the 60s, too. Beatles, pretty much. I grew up with the Beatles, and I idolized them, and I was on the garage strumming on baseball bats and just kind of mimicking them, the whole time. Friends playing on coffee cans and stuff, and got my first bass in 1966, and started playing Cub Scout stuff, and little organizations like that, benefits and stuff, and I've been playing ever since. So I've been playing, 22 years, I guess.
Okay.
I'm the oldest of the band, probably. That might be why.
Probably.
Well, we've just got one more person in the group then. Dave, what kind of influences you bring to?
I come from a very musical family. My mother and sisters were all in theatrics of some sort on stage. I did a lot of shows in high school, that kind of thing. So I try to bring a theatrical kind of thing. When I'm singing, I try to act out the songs in some ways. I come from the same background as far as the music. Beatles were a big influence on me, the Stones and the Who, any of the major groups, things that I heard over the radio.
You bring all that into it.
I try to,
That's excellent.
Brings it all.
Okay. Could you hang on? Could you let's see, could you fade down for a minute? I just want to bring it up on the next segment, and you can fade up. Just fade down. I just want to speak to you, and you can stop the tape for a minute, too. Take them off, then, so they can see that.
You can see from the front.
Oh, you can see it from the front? Okay,
Yeah.
great. If you can see it. Okay, just fade up, and then we'll go to that next segment of...
Blast off.
Tell me a little bit about your performance at Zapp's, that particular one.
Oh, we just had a record release party at Gilbert Zapp's in Campbell, California. We just wanted to celebrate and let everyone know the record was out. And we also had a Black Lace Lady contest.
Oh, that's interesting.
One of the songs off the album is called Black Lace Lady. And so we figured we'd have a contest. The woman dressed in the best-looking black lace would win $100.
Okay.
So,
Is that I noticed you got your T-shirt there. Is that
oh, yeah, this is
the cover?
This is the cover of the album. This is the cover of the album right here.
We got to bring a record with us today.
Yeah, it's called it's Puzzleview's the band. Silent Faces is the title of the album.
Okay. Is Silent Faces a song on the?
That's the title track.
Oh,
of
the
the album.
title track right there.
Yeah, we've got it. It's available at Tower Records in Campbell and Mountain View.
Streetlight Records.
Available at Streetlight Records and Underground Records also.
Or directly, right?
Or directly through, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that song, Silent Faces. What is that? What is that about?
Well, Silent Faces started, the genesis of Silent Faces was just before Dave joined the band. We were in a transition period, and we were contemplating what to do. Our lead singer left by mutual agreement from both parties. And,
your lead singer
our
left?
former lead singer, yeah,
Okay.
left by mutual.
Just before we fired him.
Just before we fired him. We were going to fire him. And we were in a transition period in the midst of auditioning new lead singers, or wondering if we even want to, if we want to stay as a four-piece. And during that time, I was seeing a friend every weekend. He was a guitar player, and he liked to jam with me because I liked jamming with him because he was a very outside guitar player and played a lot of real heavy progressive jazz and rock, and that's what he liked to jam on. So it gave me a chance to just open my mind instead of playing, standard stuff all the time. And one night I was over there and we were playing, and I just came up with the signature lick that I do for the song, and caught my ear, and I went home and I elaborated on it and worked out an arrangement. And I came in the next practice. I says, "Oh, you're gonna love this song, man." And I played it for them, and they go, "Yeah, this is pretty catchy." And since we didn't have a singer to write the lyrics as normal, Paul, who writes lyrics, said, "Yeah, man, give it to me. I'll take it home for a weekend, and I'll knock it out." And
He did. He knocked it out.
one weekend he knocked it out. Came back, and about that time.
You can tell him about how the words and whatnot mean.
Well, it's sort of a strange song. Actually, it's not very happy. It's sort of like a nightmare kind of a song. And, it sort of portrays the mood that I was going through at the time, with the band being in chaos. And basically, it's a nightmare, and it takes place in New York, in an old tenement building in the middle of the night with neon lights flashing. And it's about 100 degrees, and
Imagery.
a lot of imagery. And it's a story about a woman that you're not really sure if she's real or just in this guy's head. The guy's sort of like a psycho, I guess, like me. And,
All those New Yorkers, yeah.
That about explains it.
it fit the music, and
I
Sounds
messed
like
it.
you just about got a video right there from what all you described there.
That's our next move.
Just about the time Dave joined the band, we had the song finished and basically arranged, and we gave it to Dave so he could sing, and he nipped and tucked a few of the words here and maybe added a word or two of his own, and he basically came up with the melody for the song. So it was in a sense his first one of his first contributions to the band, and made the song what it is today, and it's by far one of my favorite songs.
I like it.
That's it.
Yeah, it's the first thing you hear on the record.
Yeah,
That's why
definitely.
we had it as a title track. Everyone liked it.
That's the best.
So that says something about the song, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's excellent.
It's powerful.
Jeff, could you tell me a little bit about "I Got Away"? That's another song that you have on the album.
Oh, I Got Away.
Second song.
Yeah, second.
That's song number 2.
Yep.
Basically, Jerry came in and he was just talking with Paul, and next thing I know, he's just strumming along. And then, so I started strumming along with him. Let's say, let me try this here. And then keyboards start coming in, there's a drum beat, and then Dave starts singing. About 10, 15 minutes later, we had a song.
And we recorded
Put it
it.
together just like that. It just came
That's
together.
it just happened.
That was a quickie.
It happened. We don't know.
That
we
was
don't know
the
how.
very first song that we had written on the spot, where
On
everybody
scratch.
wrote their own parts. It wasn't, coming from outside, Dennis writing the keyboard, then coming and bringing it in. It was just on the
it just
spot.
kinda
We
happened.
just did it.
Boom.
And
It
it
was
builds
done.
that. It builds that way, exactly as Jeff mapped it out. Jerry starts the song. The first thing you hear is bass, and then you start to hear the keyboards coming in, and we kept it. It worked.
It worked
Yeah.
great.
It
Yeah.
went together.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Well, we did mention a little bit about the Black Lace Lady. Does somebody have something else that?
Well, that's Jerry's.
I wrote that
Where
song,
did Genesis of that
Yeah.
idea come
Jerry
from?
wrote that one.
Okay.
I wrote that song about 11 years ago. The band I was in was going to play a Halloween party, and they wanted me to come up with a Halloween type of song. And so I sat down and was trying to figure out what I could think of for Halloween, and just started thinking about Lady in Black Lace and wandering around a graveyard, and kind of put it all together and came up with Black Lace Lady. And it seems to be one of the popular songs on the album. I mean, it's a good toe tapper. It's a blues type song, blues rock, you know.
Yeah, I know it has a lot of rhythm to it. You can
It really
dance
gets the
to it.
folks up dancing
Sometimes,
and
yeah,
stuff.
women
you know.
jump up on stage and start dancing with us
And it's
sometimes.
got a 50s influence too, though, you know.
Dressed in black lace, of course.
Only.
But
Only, yeah, there you go.
Okay. Okay, and one of the last songs I wanted to ask about was Flying. Anybody who wants to take that, you know, tell us.
Oh, well, Flying, I basically wrote the words to Flying.
Oh, you wrote the whole thing, basically?
Yeah,
then? Okay.
basically. I was on in field service electronics, and I was flying around the country all the time. And I really didn't like flying. I hate flying. I was on this trip to Japan finally, in a big 747, a bunch of turbulence. I was bouncing around. I said, oh man, I got to write this down. This is driving me crazy. So I just wrote about flying and how I just didn't like it, you know.
Help get his mind off the trip at the same time.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Pull that in there.
I took notes. I had it, basically the words written before I came in the band, and put it in the band.
One of the few songs written
words
that
written
way, yeah,
first
lyrics
instead of the
before
music.
music.
Yeah, lyrics did come before the...
yeah.
Well, that's interesting. You know, that's an interesting concept that you mentioned. That I guess you're constantly thinking of songs.
Our minds are open.
You're bringing in experiences that you have outside, and
Yeah.
putting
Right,
that into-
right.
What's good is our minds are open. We can start with nothing or start with something that's already together and pull it into a song.
So many bands will just write a song about boy meets girl, that type of thing, you know, the love song, and we're trying to diversify a little, be different.
Trying.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that kind of leads a little bit into one of the questions. What is it that make Puzzleview stand out from other bands? What would you say? What is that quality that would?
Oh, that's a versatility.
Yeah,
Versatility and
definitely.
variety.
God.
Freshness.
We're nice guys.
It's my socks.
It seems we've always got a little something to please everybody.
Yeah.
We've got the hard, you know, nothing really, you know, blasting or heavy or anything, but we've got the certain edge for the hard, you know, to it, or
Hard rock.
good dance music, you know. It's not,
Yeah, it makes us stand out from everyone else.
yeah, it makes us stand out. from
Well, a
everybody
clear
else.
indication of that is our album is out on a few college stations currently, and certain stations cater to certain different types of music, and they're playing different types, different cuts from our
cuts,
albums.
right.
For instance, one station's playing our heavy songs, Flying and Time. So another station's playing Can't You Feel and I Got Away, because
More pop
those are the
oriented.
pop oriented, and that's their sound, the new age kind of sound. That's just a perfect example of our versatility and freshness.
Yeah,
So get out and buy the album.
That's right.
Remember, Tower Records.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in tying it up, kind of give me a little bit. Where's the band going? The future of the band. Where would you like to be 5, 10 years from now?
5,
On
10
the
years?
yacht.
No, we
Right on the yacht.
want to be
Rich.
retired. We're working on signing a major label record deal right
Oh,
now.
you
I've
got a
had-
deal
I've
in the
already
works
had-
right now, then.
Right, right.
In the works. I've had a few brokers and contracts sent in the mail already for us to sign, and we just got to, you know, find the right record company, just decide where we want it to go.
Give
you
us a chance.
It's like a dream that you finally realize. I'm sure all of us at one time when we were growing up used to have little dreams and standing in front of the mirror and pretending you're playing on stage in front of a big crowd. And you know, as you get older, it progresses. And when you start writing, you have dreams of, you know, having your stuff played. And then,
we definitely want it to happen now.
yeah, now it's on the brink of happening,
Must.
and it kind of hits you. You know, this is the reality now, and it's interesting. I think we're ready for it.
We're definitely ready for
Yeah,
it.
So
definitely.
you're right on that brink.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about the next thing is have a major label help us distribute the album and set up a tour for us. That's about the next thing for us.
And we're ready to start our second album and recording. We've got another.
We've got
material
another
now.
couple albums worth of material
Yeah.
that we've written as a band.
Better
Not to
stuff.
mention stuff that we have in individuals.
stuff.
We've got well over 1,000 songs.
So there's no
between-
shortage of material
Oh,
there.
no, definitely not.
Who basically handles the business then? Within
I basically handle all the business.
Okay.
Just give me a call.
The Puzzleview hotline is
408-379-1341.
call today.
Yeah, I'll take care of it. We'll do.
We know what you need.
We work in concerts. We work for
Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah.
we work in the concerts and the clubs.
Bar mitzvahs, consummations of marriages,
Benefits.
you know, whatever's happening, we'll be there.
Yeah.
You could count on it.
Yeah.
Would anybody like to add anything in closing? This is kind of your free-for-all to say what you want to put in your two cents, 2 bits worth.
Quick, hurry.
Well, we'd like to get everybody out and see our show. We've got more gigs coming up. We're playing around the Bay Area all the time.
We'll be in and out of Cabaret and Zaps.
Yeah, we've got stuff going on in Niles,
and Fremont.
all over the Bay Area. So look for the name Puzzleview.
I want to thank you, Reggie, for giving us a chance, you know, giving us some exposure and a chance to speak out.
Oh, well, you're welcome. Thank you.
We really appreciate it because we need every break we can
Appreciate you
get.
having us on the show.
So thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's been
Okay.
great.
Appreciate it.
We loved it.
You love it. Okay.
Hi, everybody out there.
Well, I want to thank everybody in Puzzleview for coming on Rock City.
Thank you
Thanks
very
a lot.
much.
Rock City.
Right on. Rock and roll.
The city to be.
All right.
The big city.
Puzzle.
Hi, Mom.
Plays in Rock City.